Today is the 27th of August, and I thought it would be a nice time to have a full garden tour. I am in zone 5. And let's start here with what I call the driveway garden. So in my galvanized bucket, I have got some beautiful petunias. I did buy these already started from the greenhouse because I tried to start my own petunias in place and it did not work. They are very fussy to start. I knew that to start with. Thought I'll try it anyway. It was unsuccessful. Not everything is going to be successful that you try, because sometimes the weather just is not going to permit it. And other factors in your life. These are black crems. Okay. And if you notice, I've got pepper on these to deter my groundhogs. Not that I got so excited for tomatoes, I pre-peppered them. I don't care for peppered tomatoes like that, just salt when I eat mine. So here's 2 black crems, right here and right here. What I wanted to do was create and put all of the bigger tomatoes here, kind of like a little rainbow bridge. This was a volunteer. These are the indigo cherry drops. They are my favorite. And I did transplant this volunteer. That's why it's so small. But I do love them, so I wanted to sort of salvage every single one I possibly could. Here's another black creme. You can see the shoulders are still green, and it's starting to develop a beautiful, rich red at the bottom. We had a lot of rain here. And then we had a lot of dryness. That's why it's cracking. These are 4th of July's right here. And here we have got, I believe, this might be, I'm not sure which one this one is, guys. I'm really not. I got out here, something didn't take in one of these spots, and I just threw some more in there, and that might have been it. These, I believe, might be the mortgage lifters. And I believe these ones over here are the giant Belgiums, because they have that real pretty pink look, and they sort of look like they're about ready to bust out. And here we've got a blue doll hybrid that has not turned blue yet, and that's just pepper on there. Keep the groundhogs away. And another giant Belgium, because they curl up. Giant Belgiums kind of will curl up past the tops of them. Here I dug a trench and put in some kitchen scraps so I could compost in place. Put the barrels up here so nobody would dig it up. And here I'm starting some cilantro. Okay guys, that is the driveway portion of this. And I chose, this year I made a lot of choices, really depending on how easy it was going to be. Tomatoes are one thing that I absolutely cannot live without. I actually debated on not even having a garden this year. My mother had a medical issue that we're still dealing with, and it's kind of time consuming. I love her. She comes absolutely first with everything, but I had to make some decisions in the garden. And ease, low maintenance, no fuss. I actually limited myself to only coming out here for about an hour and a half max on my days off. I have 4 days off. I don't really need to do that a lot of the times because it's been god-awful hot. Even before some of this happened and I made the decision to actually have the garden, I really decided not to fuss around with things that much. I wasn't really looking forward to being in the sun. I had kind of hit the sun, the garden, the walking, the projects in the summer, not even having anything to do with the garden, really hard the last 3 years. I was going through a divorce, getting over a divorce, getting my life back together, and it really, the free therapy actually came from outside. These are Sweet 100s. They are not very big at all. What I did was I rebuilt the soil and I put a lot of shredded paper at the bottom of it, which does not have a lot of nutrition in the beginning. So these probably would have been bigger if I would have waited till probably the fall to have done this. And this is grass that I just raked up here, and I've got some layers. Like you can see, I've got cardboard here underneath this cardboard. I have wood bark. I also not laid down, but made about 3 holes and put my kitchen scraps again underneath there. I'll freeze my kitchen scraps if I don't have enough and do a great big hole. What I would like to do is, I've started here, I'll just go down the line with all of that, or in between. Like there's a good spot right there that I'm not going to disrupt too many roots, and I could actually probably do that today. But hopefully I can get all of that done. And when you freeze it, it helps it to decompose quicker when you do that. But this needed to be rebuilt, and I also have little ground moles that have now started to come through here and disrupt everything for probably the last 4 or 5 years. So when they're coming from underground, they are going to disrupt your roots. That's another reason for the cardboard. And I'm not done. This is just what I had. I had the grass clippings. They were available. I did not want to waste them. Now we're here at the front of the house. And this is a very shady area. As you can see here, these trees block a lot of this from pretty much this point forward. This side of the house gets pretty much a lot of sun. Actually, this is the best. This and part of this corner over here gets some of the best sun. So I'm thinking about halving that trellis in the back in half and putting one part of that trellis here, the other part of that trellis on the other corner here. It won't look like, if you just looked at the house, it won't look even per se. Like if I did half of it here and half of it there, that would frame that, it would look even. However, I kind of have to stop thinking about that and thinking more and more and more about where's that sun gonna hit, where's the production of everything going to be, because that's why we're doing all of it. So again, this is a blue Dow hybrid, and you can see how beautiful and perfectly symmetrical these leaves are until we come here. And we had a big offshoot here. I really only see one of them on this plant, and it's right in here. And I keep moving it a little bit so it will be catty corner on the vines and on the cement, so it won't rot out on me. I'm doing a full video on this if you want to see more, because it is my first year growing this, and it's kind of exciting because I'm geeky. And here we've got some chives. Here I started a tomato. Yeah, it's not going to do much. Oh, hang on. There are some tomatoes down here. And this was a transplant as well. Here, front door. Remember those yellow hybrid tomatoes I did a video on? They were in F1. Yeah, they've now changed. I think I'm going to do a separate video on that. This is a Sweet 100. And you can see down here. Beautiful. Gotta come out and pick those bad boys. And look, you can see right here, when you're not really staking these and they're so close to the ground, they really want to root. Because, I mean, it's not even too close to the ground. But they're wanting to root. And this is a kind of wet area up here. It rained not last night, but the night before, and it rained buckets, and it's still not really dried out. I didn't water it all last night. It didn't need it at all. But you can see, look at it. This is just that one tomato plant, and that stops right there. I just let it go wild. And I don't normally do that at all. I like to either cage them up or just stake them up. And you can see that I've got stakes holding the cages up because it got so wet that they just collapsed. Because they are top heavy at this stage of the game, and they are going to collapse a little bit on us. Okay, here we've got some Jack B. Little pumpkins. And again, I've got pepper around here because the groundhogs will come up and eat this. And I just did the perimeter of that. But we've got some really nice little pumpkins in here. They're beautiful, pretty. And they're starting to die back. They don't have a lot of flexibility, but there is still some there. I'm gonna wait until these aren't really brown, but more of a grayish. Kind of like when you see driftwood on the beach, it has that gray look. It is dried out, even though you might have pulled it right out of the water, or part of it's in the water. It's still dried out, and that's really what I'm waiting for. See these pollinators in here? See the pumpkin back here? This is another one of those blue dolls. So there's 3 right here in a row. You can see 3 in this shot, the biggest one being in the middle. There's another one back here. And there's another one that is hanging off of this tomato cage, which I had around a zucchini. This thing just got absolutely enormous, and it's just one. So the other locations obviously did not get that huge. This one did. We'll just have to find it as we keep going around. And I've come out here and I've peppered just the little ones to keep them off of it. This one right here, this could make it, it could not. That's kind of the infancy. When you start to see them a little bit bigger, definitely this one will make it. All these bees out here. And here you go. Here you can see where the groundhogs have gotten at the leaves. Here I peppered this one. And I find that the pepper great short-term solution to the groundhogs, but I need to do something more on a permanent level with them, because we have bought these things for years now, and I'm just about tired of them. And they've had another baby. I have startled that baby out here at the beginning of the year, probably 3 or 4 times now. Okay, here it is. See. see in there. I think it's right in the middle of the screen. And it almost looks like a huge bell pepper, but you can see it's kind of dangling there. I had some wildflowers here. They're really starting to go away, to die off. These tomatoes in here were volunteer. I thought I had picked all of them a long time ago. I thought I got them all out. I did not. But you can see how crazy this pumpkin got. And I can see why they recommend you doing pumpkins or squash or gourds for your hügelkultur mounds at the very beginning. Because you can just leave them here and they create almost a natural cross weaving or rope. So that was very good information for me to have this year. Another volunteer tomato. This has died off. This was a sugar cube melon, which I will do. I'll have a separate video on that. And here I was using the trellis, and you can see it's dying off. We had another one over here, which was dying off. But this is what I'm talking about, bringing to that best sunspot corner area. If I just remove this center one, I can make two pieces. And then this can kind of hang down and arch those plants, green beans, whatever, forward. They can grow up the whole thing. Okay, green beans are great for this. They can stop about here. And then I can still come up and pick these, especially if I've buried the bottoms of these better. The soil out here is so dense, absolutely dense. It's only its second year. But the soil that I'm rebuilding out front would probably be much better for me to be able to get in there and get all of that done. Let's see all these bees around here again. Here's another one. They love them. So I don't know. The melons, I had 3 over here. I had 3 over here. I was only able to pick one here. It was a different kind of melon. So I don't know how well these wildflowers worked as far as pollinating the melons. I don't know if it's the wildflowers that's bringing in all of the bees or just these big, gorgeous blooms that you're gonna have anyway when you have a pumpkin or if you have a squash. They're kind of hard to ignore. I mean, look how big this bloom is compared to this bloom. It's pretty. Without a doubt, it's pretty. And I enjoyed them. Look, there's just 2 right over here. It's like they're fighting over these. They're definitely fighting over these. Okay, this pumpkin here has grown out so much. Let's see where. Right here. This is the end of the bed where the wood and the rebarb is. And this is how far these pumpkins went out. So, it's overcome the green beans that are here. These are the Hilda Romano green beans. They're flat green bean. I'm going to do a separate video on these. And on the other side of this, in that tomato cage, that little rusty tomato cage, there's a green machine zucchini in there that basically got sacrificed. There's probably nothing in there at all. As far as any more zucchinis, I did get about 4 or 5 little small ones. I like to eat them when they're small, so I picked them. I'm sure they would have kept on growing, but I do not like watery zucchini. So that's how I chose to pick them, and they were really good. I hadn't really had green zucchini before. I always go for the black. They were good. I didn't really taste a difference in them. I don't believe I gave the green machine a fair shake because of the pumpkins really just taking over. These are indigo cherry drops. They are absolutely gorgeous. They're one of my favorites. Since they're an indigo, they are high in antioxidants. They're beautiful, they're big. They're very big for a cherry tomato. And right now, like this one is ripe, and you can see too, you've got a little bit of that cushion there. The color is right. That one's ready to go. So this will actually be the free giveaway. I would like to give away 15 seeds that I harvested. They'll come on a paper towel. They will be thoroughly dried out. You'll have a minimum of 10 on your little paper towel. You then can kind of cut the towel away if you want 3 to 4. If you want to just plant individual seeds, you can do that. You can plant them in like maybe 3 clusters, thin them out, whatever you want to do. But these are some of the best little cherry tomatoes. And I shouldn't even say little, because they're not really little. Let me take this one, and we'll just go up here to like the Sweet 100s, and we'll do a nice little comparison of that. You can see in my hand, that's not really a little cherry tomato. So I'd like to give out 15 of those. And let's say that we run this until October 1st, and by Christmas Day, you all should have them. What's this? Oh, this is the weed patch. Because I also need to redo this. The wood, mainly. You can see here, I've been stuffing styrofoam in there because there is a gap in this wood. I did have onions that I overwintered from last year. So I can come out here and see what's up with these. And I took a lot in between here, and they were good. I originally planted lettuce out here, and you can see, here's some of the lettuce, but the groundhogs got it all. The tree from behind here and this wild grapevine encroaches on this every year, which is fine if I'm out here tending to it. But again, I went for easy this year. I am redoing that. I'm redoing my soil in areas. And if you can see, the wood's starting to split away here too. Coming over here to this side, you can kind of see there is a gap over here. Oh, you can't see it past the weeds. Hang on. So I've got holes just about everywhere. This over here, there you go. So this is my little weed area. After the lettuce, I did nothing with it. I figured since lettuce would be such a short season, I could then come out here and work. But I've been so busy. It's been doctor appointment, physical therapy appointment. She no longer can drive. I do all of that. And you can see, look at that. That needs to be fixed. This is starting to go. So I don't know, do I want to fix this? Or do I just want to ditch it? Think of something else here. I don't know if the day is going to come when we need to move in together and we sell both of these houses, and you can see the wood underneath there. I don't know how he constructed this. Here's a little worm here. So I really don't know what to do with this. You guys can give me some input on what you would do, because I don't know how much money it would take just to kind of harness up those sides. Just to get it to where it's gonna last, because I don't want to put $100 in there and it's just not gonna last anyway. Okay, here we are back at the sweet 100s. Okay, now you can see them side to side here. So what do you need to do? Oh, and here's some peppers here. They are not doing well at all. Not at all. It's August. I'm not gonna get any peppers at all. Because you know why? I had originally put peppers in between all of these tomatoes because they would have enough space, they would have enough airflow, but they didn't come out. Plus, like I said, I had a lot of things to do. I didn't get out here and water those peppers the way that I should have. These are the only ones that survived, and then I transplanted them. I transplanted them into a pot, and I transplanted them into a pot that had a lot of my shredded paper down here. So not a lot of nutrition for it to pull. It's okay. That's all right. We're gardeners, we're learning. I know what not to do. I know what I like. I know that this coming out here and shaking the pepper every time it rains sucks. So I need a long-term solution for the groundhogs. I know I don't want to deal with these groundhogs anymore. I don't want them to really be a factor. But they are. We've got a groundhog hole by the shed. There's a groundhog hole behind this house. There's also a compost pile on the other side of the house, and there's a groundhog hole. So I gotta figure it out. I've already been researching it, but it's time for me to deplete that population. All right, let's get back to the free giveaway. What you need to do is subscribe. You need to like. You need to comment. And when you comment, you need to leave me your last name, your full and correct street address, city, state, and your 5-digit zip code. And I would love to send you some of these indigo cherry drop tomatoes. I'm gonna send out 15. You're gonna at least, minimum, have 10 of those seeds. It's going to come on a paper towel because I will harvest them myself, as I do each and every year for these indigos. And I will get those mailed to you no later than Christmas Day. More than likely, you will get them before, because I'm super duper anal on things. I made this, I'm still loving it. But we will run this contest too October 1st. Okay. I love you all so much. I hope I wasn't too personal. But I also wanted you to know that you can very much garden even when your life is a little bit upside down. Love you.